plan. Most Americans apparently are very happy with the tax cut plan, according to a recent survey. And black unemployment has dropped to its second lowest level on record, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What are your thoughts?
Yes. I think this is an exciting piece of legislation that every single American from coast to coast should be celebrating, especially in communities of color. 17-year low, 6.9%, a 17-year low for the African American unemployment rate. Think about this, Ainsley. In 2010, the unemployment rate for African Americans was around 16.8%. The last year of the Obama administration, March of 2015, 10%. And now we're down to 6.9%. Yeah. And guess what? It's going to get better. These tax cuts are simply going into place now. Corporations seeing their taxes going from 35 to 21, small businesses having a 20% cut, and my legislation, the Investing in Opportunity Act, that can help distressed communities, those communities right near Spring Valley High School. Go Vikings for Ainsley over there. There's an opportunity for us.
Good job.
Well, you got to do a little research. I was trying to figure out Algona, Iowa, by the way, as well, Steve. But
you're really good.
Didn't get to the statistics there. But and Brian, you're from New York, so God bless you.
Anyway,
back to South Carolina. The reality of it is that we could see major private sector dollars being invested in distressed communities. No new bureaucrats, no new government programs, simply an incentive package to provide access to opportunities for kids who grew up in single-parent households like myself in these distressed communities. We could see a phenomenal transformation of the unemployment rate of African Americans, Hispanics, and rural areas as well. This is a big deal for this nation.
But, Senator, there have been opportunity zones in the past where companies that go in and invest in those communities you're talking about would get a tax break, but it just hasn't worked very well in the past. Why is it different now?
You're right. So the past focused on what the government could provide from a resource standpoint, which does not necessarily allow for capital to do what it does best, which is find the best opportunities. What we've done is designated opportunity zones so that private sector capital makes the decision that with a greater risk, there should be a greater reward. And the greater reward for private sector capital is a tax incentive of deferring the capital gains tax up to 7 years. So what we see here is not the government trying to figure out how to use your money. It's the private sector suggesting there are opportunities that we need a little more incentive to get into these distressed communities and provide bottom-up opportunities where high potential kids are living today and see the manifestation of the American dream in their backyards.
And Senator, remember I had a chance to follow you around in Washington, D.C. as you went to one of those communities that needed some leadership and needed some hope. And you're now doing a tour. You're calling it an opportunity tour, finding opportunities for those who feel as though they're in debt, their life has hit a pothole, and also get the private sector involved, right?
Brian, you hit the nail on the head. The one thing that this country cannot do without is hope. And we need to have hope manifesting in faith and real opportunities. And so I'm doing a tour of high poverty areas, which I believe are high potential areas. I started in Charleston just a couple of days ago, going to Miami next month, and then we'll go to Cleveland and other places that are around this country, because what I want to put a spotlight on are conservative solutions that actually work. The things that we're discussing right now are low unemployment rates, because conservatives believe that you keeping your money is the best way for you to support your family. Bringing or attracting more resources into distressed communities so that you have more entrepreneurs in those communities is the fastest way for us to lower the unemployment rate. And then finally, in rural areas where the opioid crisis is just ripping apart families and communities, one of the most important statistics to follow in the rural parts of our country is high unemployment leads to high levels of hopelessness. If we can bring those levels down through the opportunity zones in rural areas, I believe that we can start fighting back with multiple weapons against this opioid crisis that could take 70,000 lives this year.
And Senator, we look forward to talking to you again, because I know you have a book coming out with Trey Gowdy. So in between that
Yes,
tour,
sir.
you have a book coming out. So we'll have you back on.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Senator.
Senator, thank you for what you're doing for our state.